Hello guys, Christian Lake is back, and so is Venom in Death Battle. And he's going to be fighting Crona. I do not know who that is, but I'm rooting for the V-boy here. The last Death Battle I've watched that starred the V-Man himself, the only real complaint I have is that the voice effect for Venom sounds like it belongs to Carnage rather than Venom. Even the movie got it right. If he sounded more like Nightmare, Nightmare in Ultimate Custom Night, the shadow fears me. That probably would have been a better voice, but whatever. But yeah, V-Man is back and he's going to fight. How is this gonna go out?
Death Battle is sponsored by AT&T 5G.
At least it's not that fucking Blue Apron bullcrap.
Whether you're at or
30 seconds, whatever.
it's always nice to have a best friend attached to your hip, like me and my shotgun leg.
But these two take their friends even further than that.
Venom, the lethal symbiote and Spider-Man's best frenemy.
And Crona, the deadly demon sword from Soul Eater.
He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle. At the beginning of time, in the faraway reaches of space, the Clintar rose from a living darkness. One of these amorphous symbiotes was Venom.
Who was a freaking loser? Hey, don't look at me, all the goop aliens were saying it. So they kicked the poor slime ball straight off the planet.
In its exile, the symbiote underwent a number of misadventures which firmly shaped its personality. It bonded to a heroic Kree soldier rescuing refugees, a violent monster who committed genocide, and apparently Deadpool.
Damn, no wonder Venom's so messed up in the head.
Eventually, the symbiote was discovered by Peter Parker, your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
It gave him a pretty slick black suit and awesome new powers. But after finding out it was a confused, raging, psychopathic alien, Pete decided to exercise it with the power of Christian Rock.
A wise decision, although ill-timed, as this event would cause the symbiote to finally meet its greatest partner, Edward Brock.
Eddie was a journalist with the unluckiest backstory ever. While trying to uncover the identity of a serial killer, he blamed the wrong guy. The same day he published his article, Spidey caught the real killer, who lived right next door to the dude Eddie blamed.
Long story short, Eddie was fired from his job, divorced by his wife, and disowned by his father.
Who already blamed Eddie for his wife dying in childbirth.
On top of all of that, Eddie learned he developed adrenal cancer, with only a few months left to live.
Man, and I thought 2020 was rough. I almost don't blame him for becoming a supervillain.
With all hope lost, he begged God to take it all away, and got an answer. The symbiote.
Just like Captain Planet, with their powers combined, these two losers became a super loser. Well, no, they actually became a horrifying monster with all of Spider-Man's powers and then some.
Their mutual hatred of Spider-Man caused the symbiote to bond to Eddie like no host ever before. They were perfect, a terror in the night, an unstoppable demon. They were Venom.
It even cured Eddie's cancer.
Sort of, it's complicated.
Apart from Spider-Man's webbing and web-crawling powers, Venom can use shape-shifting to mold his body into cool doodads. Swords, shields, tendrils, worm monster things, even wings. Yeah, imagine seeing this guy flying outside your window at night. Well, good luck sleeping ever again.
Yeah!
Camouflage his entire body, heal severe wounds like impalement and lost limbs, see all around him at once, and psychically project emotions onto others.
Normally, this just makes people feel sorry for themselves, like Wiz on Tinder. But one time he convinced a bunch of other symbiotes that life was meaningless and they killed themselves. Shit, that's dark.
If desperate, the symbiote can even invade the bodies of others and make them burst from inside out.
Gross and awesome. But if he doesn't want to pop them like a fun balloon, he can just take over their body like a creepy puppet master.
While attached to a victim, Venom can control them by fusing the symbiote to their nervous system, specifically the brainstem and frontal lobes. Fighting off this mind control is extremely difficult unless you have powers that can directly counter it, such as another symbiote.
Oh god! Aliens, tentacles, and mind control? Are we sure this episode is rated for everyone, or do we need to start blurring stuff?
Don't worry. Aside from being a horrible mass murderer, Venom's stories are completely wholesome.
Right.
Venom proved a dangerous thorn in Spider-Man's side.
Yeah, wholesome by comparison if you really think about it. Either Venom... Do I need to bring up the symbiote NC-17 rated stories and arts?
And frequently ruined his life. Even taking a page out of my favorite book, The Most Dangerous Game, and hunting him on a private island.
Yeah, he was the coolest rival ever, but over the years, things kind of calmed down a bit. They even teamed up every so often.
See, even with so much anger, Eddie had a legitimate desire to protect others. As a teenager stealing his dad's car, he accidentally ran over and killed a child. Despite his desire to confess, his father forced him to plead innocent and rigged the jury. The guilt has weighed him down ever since. So while Venom does have a hunger for human brains, he'd rather eat the face off a criminal than an innocent person.
Venom's as tough as they come. He survived Ghost Rider's penance stare. He's strong enough to toss a tank hundreds of feet up, and fast enough to take down Spidey 2099, who once caught Mjolnir while it was moving 2,000 times the speed of sound.
Although Venom does not possess the spider sense that allows Parker to react in microseconds, he can still keep up with all the usual Spidey gallery. Plus, while symbiotes have a severe weakness to high-pitched sound and heat, he's developed resistances to them.
Like when he took this giant explosion, or when he survived a sonic scream from some mutant gremlins that shattered all glass within 10 miles.
While he may be tougher to take down than most other symbiotes, Venom never fully overcame his weaknesses. However, his symbiotic genes provide far more help than harm. This includes traits and memories from other hosts, like Scorpion and Flash Thompson.
Wait. Bullets are a genetic trait? How do I pass that down?
Venom would certainly need a lot of firepower to survive an encounter with the symbiote god.
Oh, geez, here we go.
At first, the Clintar symbiotes were seen as a peaceful people. But turns out they were actually living weapons forged by the primordial deity Null in an attempt to conquer the universe.
And I bet next up, Marvel decides they're magic maple syrup people from Asgardian IHOP. But okay, cosmic sludge made by alien Satan. Let's go with that.
Despite it all, Eddie and the symbiote have proven they're far more than the dark legacy the Clintar were intended for. They've even gained the respect of the Avengers, and eventually considered Spider-Man a friend. Sort of. It's complicated.
Eddie really is the best pal Venom could have found. And let's be real, he just looks frickin' badass.
No doubt. Alright, now who's the guy with the sword?
In ancient times, a demonic being known as the Kishin ravaged humanity, nearly driving all mankind into the depths of madness. This monster could only be defeated and sealed away by the god of death.
So, why is the literal god of death so goofy looking? You ever seen Death Note?
God of Death? Hela? Hell? From Norse?
Even Thanos' girlfriend is scarier than this clown.
If you are unfamiliar with the world of Soul Eater, prepare yourself. It's different.
Well, not wanting a return of the apocalypse, Death and his oven mitts founded a school, Death Academy.
Here, warriors called Meisters would train to fight evil using the power of their souls.
They even got neat demon weapons that double.
I can't comprehend this. Death itself. It's basically like Ozpin. We have Death in the Marvel Comics, that's a female that Thanos and Deadpool have the hots for, and in Soul Eater, Death is basically a professor of an academy.
As people, together they learned courage, chivalry, unbreakable friendship. You know, all that anime crap.
Does it have guns?
Was not one of these students.
Buckle up, it's all Gloomsville from here. Deal with it.
I don't think I know how to deal with this situation.
Throughout their childhood, Crona was abused by their mother, Medusa, a witch obsessed with the legendary Kishi.
You can see where this is going. Anime Uma Thurman was such a fangirl she figured, hey, why don't I make my own Kishin? So she used her child as a guinea pig in a bunch of crazy experiments. You know, it kind of sounds like something you do, Wiz.
Don't be silly, I only use actual guinea pigs. Part of Medusa's great experiment included bonding Crona to a weapon, much like the Meisters of Death Academy. However, joining with Ragnarok was a bit more literal.
Ragnarok used to be your run-of-the-mill transforming weapon person until Medusa melted him alive in black blood.
Black blood being another experiment of hers. Crona's own blood is, in fact, this same black blood, which they can remotely control. It can be used to heal wounds and even harden as a sort of internal armor.
Cooking rags in black blood turned him into a brand new weapon that was literally poured into Crona's bloodstream.
From that point on, Crona and Ragnarok were two halves of the same person. The meek and tortured child firmly attached to their loud and brazen weapon.
And Raggy has that black blood control too. They can yank poor Crona around like a puppet. They can use black blood to create wings, thorny vines, all kinds of weapons, and big-ass needles. I hate needles. What's up with that mouth when he transforms into a sword? That thing's messed up.
Like the Meisters, Crona can wield their own soul in combat, amplified by Ragnarok as a technique called scream resonance. Think of it like hooking an electric guitar up to an amp, though more akin to a screeching banshee on LSD.
I didn't know you played.
I don't. It's incredibly powerful, causing internal damage to foes and making Ragnarok vibrate to increase his cutting power. Hey, are you okay?
What?
With this...
I don't. Well, Soul Crona definitely has something that Venom. That is one of Venom's weaknesses. Shit.
Weapon at their...
In our community, sports brings us together. It means that you have a brotherhood, I think. When
side, Crona set out on a quest to become a Kishi, which required quite a lot of homicide.
Yeah, Ragnarok can absorb the souls of dead people, and supposedly enough souls will turn Crona into the Kishin. So they went around slaughtering hundreds of people.
Despite their name, Death Academy wasn't exactly a fan, particularly their star student, Maka Albert.
Don't worry, she and Crona ended up becoming good friends. Until they weren't. Sort of. It's complicated.
As a pawn in Medusa's mission, Crona gained several levels of new potential. Notably, after gaining or absorbing the powers of the monstrous Black Clown, the demon tool Brew, and even Ashura, the original Kishi.
All of which increased Crona's abilities, especially the black blood. Now Crona can turn their entire body into goop, and the slightest touch could inflict madness. That's madness with a capital M, by the way.
This madness is a corruptive effect that causes targeted variants of delusion or obsession, often spread as a wavelength. The wavelength of Crona's mad blood specifically causes violent psychosis.
Crona may be a pawn, but they're a badass. They can cut through a whole ghost ship, cover the moon with sound waves, open the moon's mouth? What the hell is wrong with that moon?
Crona and Ragnarok have held their own against multiple Death Academy students, including Maka, Death the Kid, and Black Star.
Sometimes all at once.
Kid once flew from Nevada to Egypt in less than a minute, and Black Star is even faster. He's dodged lasers and been tracked moving over 20 kilometers in 6 microseconds while approaching Baba Yaga Castle.
And Crona's been able to make enough mad blood to crush a whole goddamn Ukrainian city.
While this city isn't named, we can use a similar metropolitan area in Ukraine, Kiev, for instance. With this in mind, Crona must have created over 9 trillion tons of black blood, enough to fill over 6 million Olympic swimming pools.
But Crona's a big leap from invincible. They've had their shit kicked in plenty of times, and their hardened black blood can only block so much.
Even then, Medusa's plan ultimately succeeded. After years of scheming, Crona absorbed the power of Ashura and became a Kishi.
Well, more like Kishin absorbed Crona, but close enough.
But with the power of friendship, Crona ironically wound up defeating the Kishin once and for all. Despite their life being nothing but destruction, Crona was the one who ultimately saved the world.
With an added side effect of a new madness wavelength that made everyone obsessed with boobs. Truly a positive effect on people everywhere.
Just give up.
What? That last part was stupid.
I'm tired of trying to figure out how to deal with you.
All right, the combatants are set, and we've run the data through all possibilities.
But first, instead of brains and souls, how about chewing on blue?
This episode is sponsored by Blue Chew.
It's definitely not Blue Apron, I guess.
If you want to increase your performance confidence in bed, try BlueChew.com.
Blue Chew brings you the first chewable with the same FDA-approved active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis.
Day, night, or on a full stomach, try
Active pack. And we've got a use our special promo code BATTLE. Just pay $5 shipping.
Again, that's BLUE.
BATTLE! Oh!
Let's do this! Okay.
Hello? I want to be alone.
Hey, pay attention, you turd.
Lucky day! 2 brains for the price of 1.
I don't think I can handle this right now.
Your mind is ours. Dinner time.
He's gone? What is he?
We are the ones hiding under your bed. Teeth ground sharp and eyes glowing red.
Using a I don't recall Venom ever using a tongue to attack. I recall it being used to lick. Whatever.
Your blood.
I know. It's black.
I'm not gonna lie, that is pretty creepy. Just being stabbed or sliced in the neck, it bleeds out, and it just looks up to you with the creepy monotone stares like, I know, it's black. that right there is actually pretty creepy.
Wake up, stupid!
What the fuck is Soul Leader on?
We are the darkness. We are your nightmare. We are Venom.
I hate you.
Man, these symbiotes really need to stop picking fights with pink-haired anime characters. They're f***ing crazy.
Venom was certainly a tricky opponent. His shape-shifting
Yeah, I kind of knew Venom was going to lose because Crona's got that one attack that symbiotes hate.
camouflage and multitude of weapons kept Crona on guard. Unfortunately, Venom lacked the power needed to keep up a prolonged fight.
Yeah, Crona matching Black Star's speed makes for a pretty clear difference. Crona could reach Mach 9,000, while Venom only topped out around Mach 2,000.
And while Venom has shown incredible physical strength that puts Spider-Man to shame, he could never compete with 9 trillion tons of mad blood.
Which, by the way, that precise control of the black blood totally meant Crona could push out any of Venom's attempt at being a puppeteer.
And Crona's shown even greater feats of strength as well. Assuming all the moon's teeth are similar in size and stone, opening this jaw is equivalent to lifting over 10,000 tons.
Of course, the final nail in Eddie's coffin was the fact that half of Crona's arsenal was sound-based, basically Venom's kryptonite.
Somewhat. Recall that Venom did gain a notable resistance to sound attacks, so we needed to determine if Crona's sonic waves were great enough to effectively harm him.
You know those gremlins who shattered every window in 10 miles with a screech attack?
Yeah.
The symbiote barely survived it, so that's a good high end to look at.
It takes at least 100 decibels to shatter glass normally. To cover that much distance, the combined sonic blast must have equaled about 244 decibels. In contrast, in order to engulf the moon, Crona's sonic waves must have reached over 275 decibels.
And yes, that's considering the weird size and shape of the moon. Ugh, just look at that freaky thing.
Sure, 275 doesn't seem that much more than 244, but decibels increase on a logarithmic rate. This means Crona's sound attack was actually over 1,000 times stronger.
Vanny for sure wasn't surviving that.
Eddie and the symbiote held their own with versatility, but Crona and Ragnarok had them beat in destructive power, blistering speed, and an arsenal that could take advantage of Venom's key weakness.
Looks like Venom just got Ragnaroked.
The winner is Crona.
The symbiote fanboys are gonna be pissed. Maybe especially a few of my friends.
Thanks for watching this up. This is right around.
Attention, blue team! This is the red team! We are here to destroy you!
I got a tank. People with tanks are never outnumbered.
Death Battle decides to settle Red versus Blue. I've not really watched it. It's probably some goofy series, but it looks like they're going to settle on which side is really going to win. Good on you, them. And good on you, Rooster Team. You're finally going to get your answer. Everyone's going to get their answer. Terrific. So yeah, another character in Death Battle that I rooted for has lost. Boo. Just one more question before we leave. How would you think if he would fare against Kratos? Well, if you guys like what you see, please consider liking and subscribing. I hope you have a good day or night, and take care.